Okay, so I do a couple of different things. I am the Colorado club president for CEO Space. And what that means is that I grow the club here in Colorado. I hold local events. I invite new people to investigate CEO Space and come be members and have the benefits of membership in CEO Space, which is getting that acceleration, getting surrounded by some of the brightest minds in the country as coaches and mentors, and getting connections, huge connections, connections that can help you to get anything done in your business. Whatever you need to build a team, you need an attorney, you need intellectual property protection, you need strategy, you need branding, marketing, it's all there. And with people who are vetted and confirmed as experts in their field that you normally wouldn't have access to. And so that's a huge part of what I do. I made a commitment this year I started last year doing some capital raising, helping people, including CEO Space members that are looking to raise capital, connected them to some resources that I have through an attorney friend of mine that I work with who is very connected to people with a lot of money, including family offices. You know, you get a billionaire that has a family office that runs their investment. And so he has those connections, and he always calls me and said, this is what I have, who do you know? And so one of the things that we're working on is the people in the cannabis industry who are building big businesses, whether it's research and development in the medical world, which is huge right now. There's a lot of research going on. There are people, what I realized in the last couple of days, there are people who are developing products for the agricultural space that can't break into the ag space because of, commitments that farmers and distributors have to Monsanto. That even though they have products that are very viable, increases crop yield, are non-toxic, they just can't break in. So they're looking to the cannabis industry to sell their products. So it's been very enlightening and interesting to see the cross-pollination of people from different industries looking to the cannabis world as a potential for them to build businesses and create revenues. Because, yes, there are laws, but as someone who develops a product, this what I talked to today is an aquaponics product. And they're looking to use that to provide that to cannabis growers to increase their yield and speed up the growth of their plants. So there's a shift going on. It's very interesting. So I have the opportunity to help those people to raise capital, and I'm excited about that. Then there's my foundation, which Russell and I have talked about quite a bit, and something that I'm, really need to get started on in earnest. And that is a foundation that creates resources and a support system for those children in the foster care system who will eventually age out. They'll emancipate. What my goal is to get to them while they're younger, before they're 18 and 19, and start that process of providing them resources and connections and mentors and teachers and helping them to get beyond all the stigma of foster care so that they can be whole, strong adults that can contribute to society when they've been emancipated. So that's a little bit about what I'm doing. What do I need next? For CEO Space, referrals. People who should be there. Who are those people who own a business, who want to own a business, who are transitioning out of the military, out of corporate, out of education, and want to be entrepreneurs? We can help them to get started. We have a very well-established track record of taking people from the back of a napkin to the shelves. So wherever they are in that business spectrum, we can help them. Who is it out there that has a product or service that they need to raise money for? Technology, green products, environmental products. I have someone who's doing a phenomenal project of water reclamation from the fracking world, and we're going to try to help him raise some capital. So it doesn't matter what their industry is, we can possibly help them to raise capital. And then, of course, getting started on the foundation, laying out the basic steps and taking the plunge to get it started. So that's about it.
Great, thanks. Okay, Ted, you're up next.
All right. Well, I'm Ted Hallisey, and I live in Utah. And in fact, I have met with Sandra Fan and Bernie Dorman and talking about the CEO space as well. And that's how I met Robert. And that's how I came to know Russell. I have a nonprofit foundation called Cowboy Ted's Foundation for Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And we go out and do school assemblies, and I produce videos to use in classrooms and in homes that encourage kids to adopt a healthy lifestyle. And so far, we visited with 250,000 kids across the country, and my goal is 1 million. So my goal for the year is to secure some funding so that we can continue to develop our free websites. I've got cowboytedshow.com and then Cowboy Ted 101 for schools. And we also have a subscription website where families or schools will pay a subscription, and then we post 3 new videos every week on wellness, outdoor recreation, extending the classroom to where there's topics of diversity and culture and different things that teachers wouldn't be able to address in a regular class day. And I think that's where I'm at, is just trying to put the funds together to expand our program. We want to start by going into 8 states, which include Colorado, and kind of focusing on cowboy states, which Utah is not one.
Right.
So we want to go into some cowboy states and find the rural areas. And I know, Denver has the big stock show. So, I mean, I have not spent a lot of time in Colorado, and I want to. And I was really glad that I connected with Russell and his program that he's developing for nonprofits on how to go about raising funds and finding board members and all the expertise that he has. I'm just excited to be collaborating with him and now with you. Great.
Stock show is going on right now.
It's going on, yeah. That's every January that takes place.
Yes, it's going on through. It ends on the 22nd.
I thought it was about this time of year.
Yeah.
Yep.
They've been running that for quite a few years, so it's very good. Yeah, and I'm having a meeting tomorrow with Sue Lee, who's a member here. She's our resident party waiting to happen here in Colorado. Sock It To 'Em Sock campaign. They collect socks for the homeless, but she also created some programs for children called I Believe in Me, and she's really taken that to you're going to start seeing that everywhere. But I'll sit with her tomorrow. I'm going to tell her a little bit about what you're doing, because the stuff she's done is for TV, so she'd be a good person to talk with. I'll be seeing her tomorrow. Okay.
And Russell, do you know Tracy Nazarenas? She runs a horse program for veterans, military veterans, as a nonprofit, and she's looking to expand. So I want to send you her connection. Okay. I'm not sure which part of Colorado she's in, but I just connected with her through LinkedIn and want to go out and do some videos with her on, how horses can be therapeutic for lots of different things. But I just thought of her when I was thinking Colorado and nonprofits. It's like the two of you need to know each other.
That name, for some reason, that name sounds familiar.
I'll send you her contact info, but she's on LinkedIn too. If you and I are on LinkedIn, and you'll see her in my thing, but I'll send you hers, because we've tried to make some arrangements. So when I get out to see her, I'll see you at the same time.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, when do you come out?
Yeah.
Have you
after the snow's gone?
After the snow is gone. That's going to be a while.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
That's like June or July.
Oh, yeah. But,
is it that long?
Oh, we can get snow in June.
Yeah.
Really? I was thinking probably May or June.
Yeah, that would be a good time. You can go spring skiing.
Yeah, what I'm concentrating on right now is some home schools and year-round schools, because oftentimes they get missed when people are doing assemblies and different things. So everybody thinks that my season ends when school is out, and it's like, well, not necessarily, because then we do the fair circuit and go to year-round schools and home schools, and we kind of turn this into a year-round thing instead of just a school calendar.
Yeah.
So that's when I'd love to come out.
Yeah,
That's good.
a key principle that I look at is being visible year round. And so that's something that that a lot of nonprofits don't necessarily do, is to maintain that visibility. So part of what I'm going to do at Sue is put a calendar together. We're going to look at some dates and different types of events, because homeless people need socks. They need those year round.
Yep.
So it's keeping that visibility out there and being visible as frequently as possible, and maintaining visibility throughout the year, so that people, so that you're top of mind as a nonprofit. And so I created what I call 4 steps to building a high performance nonprofit. I still have to send you that link to it. In fact, I can just type it in the box. You're on the phone, you won't see it, but I'm going to put this recording up so that the stuff that's in the chat box will show up.
And I can look online too. I'm near a computer, if that helps.
Yeah.
And then, Russell, do you work with Good 360?
I have not. I've heard of Good 360. I haven't connected with them as yet, but they do a lot of.
They have, they've reached out to me to connect with stores to get surplus product to be able to give away. So I'm thinking with the person with the socks, and I don't, the goods don't make sense for me to take into schools right now with what I'm doing with health and wellness.
Good 360 is an organization that would be helpful for Flow, because you remember we had a conversation a while back about the Providers Resource Clearinghouse in Adams County. Well, they are connected to the Good 360 program. Okay. They provide materials, low-cost memberships to nonprofits to go in and get goods for homeless people. Is a good example, because they collect a lot of furniture. They get a lot of stuff from Walmart, Home Depot, and some of the big retailers at a steep discount without taxes. So that people that have been newly placed in the apartments, they don't have anything.
Right.
So they can go into the Providers Resource Clearinghouse and get bedding and furniture, lamps, a few other items. And there's an IT nonprofit that's co-located with them, so they can get low-cost computers. And they both have job components tied to them. But they work directly with Good 360, so that's a national program.
Right.
And PRC is our local group that works with that.
Okay.
So as long as you have your EIN, you can go in and get those materials from them. So those are folks I should talk to a little bit more closely, because I've dealt with the local folks and. Forgot about them, because there's so many resources out there, but there's someone that nonprofits should be pointed to, and Antoinette Dow is the executive director. She's a very nice lady. I need to reach out to her again. It's been a while since we chatted, and I'd love to have her come in and talk about some of the things that she makes available and how nonprofits can get connected with her. So that's a good idea. Thank you, Ted. I'd completely forgotten about that because I run into so many people. There's so many organizations out there, and so as a resource development person, that's more what I do. Not necessarily just raising funds, but I talk about resource development. So that might be people, that might be pro bono, that might be looking for sponsorship opportunities, grants, donors. Just there's a whole smorgasbord, if you like, of different things that are out there that could be useful to a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I was talking with Robert Casatati about it today because he has the Malo movement where he's going into underrepresented neighborhoods and reaching out to kids to teach them about entrepreneurship. And I was telling him that, they might be able to get some office products or things that those kids don't have. And he and I are going to partner and collaborate on some grant proposals to be able to include kids in our video production and marketing and graphic design and try to get these kids and pay some of these kids rather than going out and paying top dollar for professionals in the field.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's almost like a job training. If you find somebody, you can mentor them along and teach them how to do that. They get a marketable skill.
Yeah, and then they could have their own business in high school, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So for 2017, what's the biggest thing you want to get done this year, Ted?
For me, I want to increase or get our subscriptions up to 10,000 people worldwide. And I want to secure some grants that would cover our costs to produce the videos and put them on our subscriber site, but also make them available on our free site too, so that we just encourage kids and families to get outside, get active, and get healthy. So we're looking at, one guy suggested to me that we need to create an endowment of $1 million and then just work off of the interest and keep that endowment money in our nonprofit so that we've got operating capital every year in addition to the fees that we charge for subscriptions and sponsorships and different things. But he said, yeah, if you can go out and really hustle and try to get an endowment from one of these corporations, then you just work off of the interest and then you've always got that seed, that capital.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's relationship building, and yeah, that's long term. So yeah, good stuff. Flo, for you, what are your top priorities for 2017?
Well, for CEO Space, I want to have between 4 and 6 new members per conference. And for my capital raising is to create a separate company that is basically focused on, how should I put that? Separate from what I have. I want to separate my businesses.
Okay.
So create a separate entity for the capital raising and other things that I do to help people get prepared. One of the things I do is I look at before we introduce them to an investor, I look at what they have in terms of documentation, mm-hmm. their structure, their team, if they need intellectual property protection, all of that, and make sure that they are really prepared mm-hmm. to get a kind of investor. I have a company that I worked with last week for 2 full days with a business strategist to just go through, really take the covers off and drill down into their business and their history and their goals and how much money they need, and putting together a formal presentation package to go in front of an investor. So that's a service that I'm starting to offer, and I have the people to do that. I have a strategist, I have a CPA, I have attorneys that I can bring to help them get ready to get in front of an investor. So I want to create a separate company to house that activity. And then for the foundation is to get my 501c3.
Okay. Cool. So there's a lot there.
Yep, awesome. A lot.
So that's what you're doing. You're doing resource development for capital.
Right.
Matchmaking and prepping people there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. We'll talk some more on the way Friday, so that I can see how I can promote you and connect people that are actually looking for funds.
Right.
Talk about that. And I want to talk to you too about maybe building a course. You know,
what?
Just building like an overview course.
Okay, yes.
You connected with Ryan Miller and build an overview course that you can put on the platform. And
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and talk about that, because that's what I've done with the 4 steps to building a high performance nonprofit. So that basically starts with creating a solid foundation. So it's setting the goals and the vision and all of that in place, and inventorying what you have to see what you need.
Right.
So that's really the foundational piece.
Yeah.
Then looking at creating an action plan based on your priorities, which is the second piece, creating that effective action plan. And then staying on track, keep creating evaluation systems for your project.
Right.
And then the fourth piece is communicating the value that you bring to the different audiences you serve.
Right.
And this is in the nonprofit context, this beta course that I've created, but it basically walks you through the whole process of structuring that nonprofit, and just gives you things to consider. And at the end of that, you know who to recruit, what to focus on. Look at what some of the best sources of funding could be for you. And so that's the whole goal of it. I call it perfect fit fundraising and engagement.
Right.
It's not radically different from what you're doing, except I'm focusing on the smaller nonprofit audience,
right, yeah.
which is a lot of new folks. But and it's all about getting people ready to actually go out and get what they need. But thinking those initial things through, and having gone through the space, that's what you do. You know that.
Yeah.
You know that stuff in the business arena. And so, yeah, we'll have some conversations about the nonprofit too. And so Ted does all sorts of TV and video production and just different stuff that could be attractive to a sponsor to help them get some press. So we'll cycle around the talk, but I've got the course. That's a good starting point to look at. I'm looking to get feedback on it so I can improve it.
Okay.
And continue to improve it. And I'll have an official launch probably in May or July at the forum. I should have all of the tweaks done by then. And the people in the beta, this initial group, it's $147 per person. And with that, we'll do live Q&As every week. And there'll be a private Facebook group.
Okay.
Can go in and do Q&A. So I want to have people go through, look at the material, look at the videos, walk through the process to see what we can do to add to it. We can improve it. You'll have lifetime access. I'll make tweaks, and when I do the official launch, there's also an affiliate opportunity so that the nonprofits that are in there, the people that you send to the page, you'll get half the revenue. So
okay.
We'll decide as a group what we're going to charge going forward. But, so that's another way for nonprofits to raise some money.
Right.
For that. And I'll build some other courses and information based on what people need. So that's the idea of perfect fit fundraising and engagement. Meet people where they are and give them the tools that they need. And so we're looking forward to that. And
is that going to be a worldwide program, Russell? That you said that's going to be available online, right?
It's available online. Yeah. So I'll put the link up here. It'll be in the recording. And I can, I'd actually need to put the link on the page as well. So I'll put that on the Connect, Commit, and Collaborate page, as well as on my mastermind pages, and do an explanatory video to explain to people what the course is and how I work, and to see what they want to do. So, you know, I'm looking to expand and work with nonprofits all over the country. You know, CEO Space has kind of expanded my thinking as far as where you can work, because people are doing good stuff everywhere. I've got a couple of consultations to have with people, and I've got a gentleman that's running one of the NFL Play 60 programs out in California that I'm going to be having a conversation with next week. He's tied up, he's away at a conference, and so that's really sort of the way it works, Ted, in the circles that Flo and I run in. You run into people and you meet people, you get connected, you find out what people are doing, and there are people that are doing all sorts of different things. So you create these synergies and you partner, and you can do a lot more collectively and earn revenue and build a team. And it just works better when people cooperate. It just, and in the nonprofit world, my philosophy is you can get a whole lot done if you don't care who gets the credit. And that probably works well in the profit making world as well.
Well, I was finding, at least in Utah, several nonprofits had to fold through the recession. And what they were encouraging us to do is collaborate with another nonprofit and go for grants together, where they could serve 2 or 3 different populations with the same money, instead of trying to, you know, choose from, you know, hundreds of nonprofits. If you come in with 2 or 3 of them as a collaboration, that it seems like those are getting funded a little more often than somebody that just goes in by themselves.
Well, yeah, when I started looking into this work 25 years ago, you know, that was a special thing, you know, to have a group of people collaborate, and they didn't really know how to deal with those, but they kind of liked it. But now it's expected. I mean, they expect you to do that. And they look for collaborative projects now as the norm, because they can leverage those dollars by serving several populations. So it's really matching their priorities, and that's a big piece of what building a high-performance nonprofit is about, is finding the right sources. You got to have people that kind of mesh with what you're doing, that are on the same page, so that you have the same priorities. And what happened to me in the early days was that we were chasing money, and we'd start writing grants and looking at stuff and saying, okay, how can we make ourselves eligible for this? Or how can we kind of tweak what we're doing so that we're eligible for this different grant or this piece of funding? And so that's not really being true to your purpose. You got to be true to your purpose, and you'll find the people that resonate. And the best sources will be the ones whose priorities your program matches. So it's really about good matchmaking and collaboration, and not chasing everything going, but having a focus on the resources you're going after, and increasing your chances of success by finding the best matches.
And you guys both mentioned that you do resourcing, I guess, and know investors and different things. What kind of do you work off of percentages, or how do you guys get compensated for bringing those parties together?
Are we talking about CEO Space?
Well, you said that you know people that do investors for nonprofits and different companies, and they, you know, a networking deal that you do. Part of that, is that through CEO Space, or that's your own relationship?
There are 2 things. Some of that is through CEO Space, but the capital raising that I'm mentioning is really a separate entity that I'm creating. And yes, they at CEO Space, as a club president, just like Sandra Fan, when we bring a new member in, we do get a commission out of that membership.
Okay.
And as far
But
as
on your private side of it, if you put somebody together, say you were to find somebody that had some funds that would be interested in my type of program, do we then pay you a percentage, or how do you get compensated?
Yeah, we do get compensated by you, yes.
And what's the normal percentage for doing something like that?
Well, and right now we're focused on businesses. We don't have a strategy right now for nonprofits, but for businesses that we work on, it's 6%.
Okay. Because I'm looking at, with some of my operations and the way I'm putting my sponsorships and different things together, I'm offering 25% to somebody that can help us with grants or somebody that can help us with sponsorships.
Right.
Because I have both a nonprofit and then I have a limited liability corporation for my for-profit side of this. And so I'd love to talk to you about that. And like I said, I'm willing to pay 25% of whatever comes in, because those are relationships they're priceless. I mean, I'd pay more than that if I have to.
Right.
But I know in Utah, they have some stipulations through the charitable solicitation program, and it seems to cap at about 25% to hire an outside fundraiser.
Yeah. And Utah also has some very strict, well, nationally there are some very strict rules, and Utah does enforce them as far as finder's fee. And we don't operate as finders. We're not going out and soliciting people to come in and invest. So we're not knocking on nursing home doors to get grandma to invest her retirement money. We're working with investors that we know, and they're direct. So we may bring one investor as opposed to bringing, putting a pool of investors together. We usually bring just one investor. So I have somebody who's looking for X million dollars. That could be one investor.
Okay.
Yeah. So we don't promote ourselves as finders. We're not finders. We don't even like that phrase. So we try to avoid that, and we're very specific in that these investors are relationships that we have. No relationships, and so we're consultants, not finders.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And Russell, do you do the same thing? Do you do funding for nonprofits or bring people together?
Well, I'm not a certified fundraiser per se, but what I do is I work with people on a one-on-one basis. I create online programs for people to take advantage of. I offer coaching. And then I do more direct work on a flat fee over a long term for people that can retain me to actually help them work on the projects. But you actually would do the funding, but I would work with you and your board, do the planning. We would walk through that you'd have me pretty much on the retainer. It's mainly flat fee though. But we put those action plans together, and I would stick with you for implementation. And
perfect. I'd love to talk to both of you about more of that.
Okay.
Especially for Colorado, because I don't have my feet on the ground in Colorado, and both of you do, and I'm sure you have connections outside of the state as well.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, I don't think any of our other folks are going to get an opportunity to join us.
Right.
I would like to do this regularly, to have regular meetings, because I had done some live meetups last year, but I didn't have them regularly. So I plan to have regular ones with topics of interest to nonprofit entities like yours. And so I'll be getting some information on those. I'll look at some days and times and set a regular schedule. Probably will start doing this weekly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that'd be awesome. And then can we message you with other people we'd like to invite?
you can invite anyone that you'd like. And so what I'll do is create a series of online meetups. We'll probably use the same Zoom link. And
Okay.
does any day of the week work better for you two than others?
Today's Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesdays and
Today's
Thursdays are
Wednesday.
best for me.
Yeah.
Thursdays for me could be a little dicey. Wednesdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, no, I have that mastermind group on Mondays at 7. And so, yeah, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening. Thursday, I usually have, when I have a CEO Space event, it's usually Wednesday or Thursday night. So most times it's Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday is best for me. Once a month I have a board meeting on a Tuesday for the Urban Indian Center. So that would, if we can do it Wednesday or Thursday, that's better for me.
And then I can do every other week as well, because I want to have a different group for people in the course, kind of leaning toward doing a Thursday afternoon and recording it. So I'll put some more information out on there. The next one I'll probably do Wednesday. I don't have to do these weekly. I just think the frequency doesn't hurt. We can do bi-weekly too.
Yeah.
Wednesday or Thursday. So I'll put some dates out and we'll see what works. Flo, I'll see you Friday for sure.
Yes.
We're off to Longmont. We'll be talking some more.
Yeah.
Ted, I'm supposed to have a conversation with Ryan Roy Friday morning. So I'll have to cycle around with him and Ryan Miller and get you all connected there, and I'll have a conversation with Sue. So you and I, what's a good day? We can talk by phone. I'll message you, and we'll talk in the next couple of days.
Yeah, if it's during the day, I'm doing mostly audio and video, so I can take calls all through the day. And I just sent you Tracy's information by messenger too.
Okay. Good show. I'll send her an invite. I'll keep sending those invites. Any closing thoughts that you'd like to leave with our audience as we get ready to wind down?
Well,
I just think this has been awesome to be able to network with the people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This is good.
Yeah. So yeah, I think next time, so we'll probably come together in 2 weeks. And I want to talk a little bit more directly about the different types of funding and what some of the advantages and disadvantages of different types are on our next broadcast for other people. And I'd like to get other people involved, because as we progress, I'd like we can talk about our specific goals and breaking those down. And maybe just kind of do a little accountability thing where we can kind of help one another along, the same way you do in the typical mastermind.
Right.
And just create that sort of support for each other.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I'll look forward to that.
Oh, very good. I will put this video up on Vimeo, and then once I've got it saved and posted, I'll let you know. It takes up these take up a good amount of space, so I'll send a Vimeo link.
Okay.
Access to those, so that these are out there, so that people can go out and watch them and get good information. Come back in. The link to the course is up there. So thank you both very much for your time. I look forward to talking more. And I think we're going to make 2017 a breakout year for all of us in a lot of ways.
That'll be great.
A lot of people that need our help. So we'll get out there and make some impact and be a service to people around us. And we'll be paid well for it.
Yes.
Well, thank you. This has been great information. Thank you both.
Yes, thank you. Great meeting you.
All right. Thanks for your time. I'll see you both.